What's good, people? Welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to talk about Sam Prendergast and whether he deserves to be a Lion this year in the upcoming tour of Australia. Now, Andy Farrell has an absolute headache on his hands, and especially when it comes down to choosing this fly half position, because honestly, they stacked. They have got so much talent, they've got so much experience on show as well, but he can only take a certain amount of players. And I don't know. This is going to be a very difficult decision. And I wanted to speak to you guys as to whether Sam Prendergast deserves to be on that plane to Australia. Because he, above everybody else, is showing how much quality and how much talent that he has, especially at such a young age. Now, I'm very much a person that believes that the Lions is not somewhere where you would essentially be growing. It's something where you're going to be developing. It's something that you are going to want to have experienced big name players on your squad, to basically showcase their talent. So it's not necessarily a case of something that you're going to have some youngsters to prove themselves. It's more to show, tried and tested quality. But Sam Prendergast, he opens up a different line of questions, because you look at the quality that he has, you look at his kicking ability, you look at his passing ability, you look at his distribution. He's got some of the best distribution in, as a fly half in the world right now. So it comes down to, where does Andy Farrell see him? Because obviously he is Irish, and I'm pretty certain he's going to be relatively high up on Andy Farrell's list. So if anybody's going to be going, there's a good chance that Sam Prendergast is going to be on that list, because we take into consideration all the old Lions. So you have your Marcus Smith, who is just an absolute beast, whoever he's going to play, but he's sort of becoming a utility man, where they are going to be, at least Borthwick played him pretty much everywhere around the pitch. And back end of the Six Nations, he ended up playing him as a fullback, so as a 15. But he obviously does have talent, and he is able to play there. But whether that's going to be his number one position, I don't know. And whether Andy Farrell sees him there, again, I don't know. But the way Prendergast has been playing, the way not only did he play for Ireland, and unfortunately Ireland ended up having a relatively difficult, shall we say, Six Nations, he has been playing brilliantly for Leinster. So not only has he been playing brilliantly at club level, he played brilliantly at international level. And considering the coaching staff, considering the head coach of the Lions, considering that a vast majority of players are ultimately going to be Irish, because, are you going to be dropping Caelan Doris? I don't think so. Are you going to be dropping Andrew Porter? I don't think so. Are you going to be dropping players like Van der Fleer? I don't think so. Jamison Gibson Park, he's one of the, if not the best scrum half in the world outside of Antoine Dupont. You're not going to drop him. James Lowe, you're not going to drop him. So there's a lot of quality on show here from the Irish. And now you got to think, he already has good connection with these players. He has a good rapport. He's been playing with them. He understands how they work, how they move, how they train. So I do feel there's going to be a relatively heavy Irish Lions squad, but that's just going to help him, that that's just going to help him blend in just that much better and that much easier. So this is another reason why I do think, out of everybody, even out of Finn Smith, Prendergast is likely to get chosen, because, again, honestly, Marcus Smith, he's probably going to be chosen. We have Finn Russell, who, again, more than likely he's going to be chosen as well, because he's got that experience. Yes, he had a relatively difficult Six Nations with Scotland, but you look at the talent that he has, you look at the way he's been playing for Bath, again, his vision, his distribution, his all-round field play, his positional play as well. The guy is phenomenal, and you can't say anything about him. But he's got the experience. So more than likely, Andy Farrell is going to want to go for someone to have that experience, to have someone like Marcus Smith, who has a little bit of experience, but he's still relatively young and he's got bags full of talent. And then you're gonna have the likes of like your Finn Smiths, your Sam Prendergasts, your youngsters, your up and comers that are playing everybody's socks off. And we've all seen again how well Finn Smith how well Finn Smith played. He actively kept Marcus Smith out of that fly half role. But is that good enough to keep um is that good enough to keep Sam Prendergast out of the Lion squad? I don't know, right? Because more than likely, we are going to be seeing Jamison Gibson Park playing as the scrum half for the Lions. Yes, there are some brilliant Lions, but come on, guys. The likelihood of Gibson Park not getting the starting slot in an Andy Farrell Lion squad, being one of the best scrum halves in the world, I don't see that happening. So to have that connection, that pairing between Sam Prendergast and James Gibson Park, we've seen how destructive they can be. And I'm pretty certain we are going to be seeing something along those lines. So personally, seeing Sam Prendergast, the way he's playing, the form that he's in, his ability to break down teams, his ability to work in the pocket, his kicking ability is ridiculous. His ability to find players in the tightest of spaces and then to be able to distribute, to be able to control a game's tempo and working perfectly in line with Jamison Gibson Park, who is a maestro at, just tactical play. He is so good when the game needs to be slowed, when it needs to be sped up, bringing others into the game. And this is something that I also find Sam Prendergast does very, very well. Now, he's not necessarily the best defensively, acute player in the world. He's just not. We all gonna expect that. We all gonna understand it. Look, he is not brilliant defensively. He is not going to be the person that's going to be making these big, super big tackles. These highlight reel tackles. He's a big guy. He's what, 6'3" ish. But he doesn't exactly have a big frame. But the one thing about Sam Prendergast is, although he doesn't make big hits, he does not mind taking them. And that is a very, very good trait to have, especially as a fly half. If you are not scared, you're less likely to be frazzled and you are less likely to be rocked, especially when, you have big players that are going to be coming at you. And believe me, Australia have some big players. So personally, out of everybody, I do feel we are going to be seeing Marcus Smith, Finn Russell, and Sam Prendergast as the fly halves for the British and Irish Lions. But obviously, Andy Farrell, he can choose to do whatever the hell he wants. If he wants to take like 9 different fly halves, he can do so. It's him. And he has full reign over it. But personally, I do feel that they are going to end up taking 3, and that's going to be my selection. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear why you think anyone else should take that slot other than Finn Russell, and who else could take that spot? Because also you do have, other ridiculous players, especially some that are abroad as well, but personally, I do feel Andy Farrell probably is going to want to be keeping, it closer to home. I don't feel he is going to want to be taking too many international players. I'll say international players playing abroad and kind of keeping things, as close as possible. But I don't know. If he does do that, more than likely we won't be seeing Jack Willis, which would be just absolutely horrible not to see Jack Willis as a Lion. But, anything's possible. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.